Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings today. We have 3 cards from the beautiful Gentle Creatures deck by Dan May. We used a Dan May deck a little while back, well, just a couple weeks ago actually. But this is another one, and it's just the same beautifulness. So you are going to pick a card, and I'm going to use the maple runes, and we're going to get messages from your guides. So that's exciting. So do you want to pick? So feel into the cards. Which card has the beginning of a message for you? Is it card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3? I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you there. Bye. Hello, card number 1 people. So let's turn this card over and see what the message is to start with, and then we're going to build on that and expand on that with a reading from the maple runes. So it's the Elderfruth arc, but it's on maple. So let's turn this, and you have loss. So right now, card number 1 people, you are dealing with a loss in your life, which I'm sorry, that's never pleasant, but it's a process. So going through that. So I'm just going to pull some runes, start with a splash reading from the maple deck. Yeah. Yep, it's hard. Some runes down. That's the blank rune. Okay, so your central issue here is, again, loss. We have the rune Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. It is reversed and it's in the central issue. So it's basically, you're sort of feeling, it's not just the loss of whatever it was, but it's sort of, it makes your life feel less rich. It makes you feel less worthy. You want to build confidence again, but right now it's like you're still sort of separating out who you are from the parts that were connected to what was lost. Leading up to this, we have Laguz reversed. Laguz is the rune of the lake, and it has to do with water and emotion, intuition, and heart, and all those watery things. So it's reversed. So we're dealing with a lot of negative emotions. We're dealing with maybe even some numbness, and just wanting to, reach inward and find your heart again and see what your heart's doing, and basically, just basically seeing if you're okay and reconnecting with heart and just sort of dealing with the negative emotions that are going on. What's going to help you at this point is don't try to push to get past the loss. This is a process. You need to grieve, you need to mourn, and you need to rebuild who you are at this point, around that. The loss never goes, like the feelings of loss never goes, the grief never goes. You just keep moving forward and building around it. So it's just something that, so what this is basically saying is Avaz reversed. Avaz is the rune of the horse. It has to do with movement and spirit. It is reversed. So you're not going to be rushing right now. You're not going to be rushing around right now. You're going to stop rushing around right now. You're going to go inward, let your spirit carry you, and through that you will be able to recreate who you are so that you can move forward. We have Ingvaz, which is the rune of Ing. It's another name for Frey, and Frey is the fertility god, and it has to do with active creation. But the only way you're going to do that is stop pushing yourself to go forward. You don't want to push yourself to go forward at this stage. You want to basically stop moving for a bit, don't stop moving, but stop pushing to move forward. You're going to basically take that you're going to let your spirit carry you inward and sort of tend to your inner spirit at this point. And through doing that, that's how you're going to rebuild who you are and who you are going forward without that whatever it was that you lost in your life. What isn't going to help is it's a huge hole. It feels like a huge hole in your life, and you could be tempted to just stop, to just be frozen in place. So we have the blank rune, which is the unknown and also just blank, and Isa underneath that, because if you just let yourself get overwhelmed by that, you could get to a point where you won't feel like moving forward at all. You'll be stuck, which is Isa, ice, stand still, stillness. And you need it's sort of like, it seems contradictory because this is saying is like, stop pushing to go forward. But in this case, you need to be moving forward, but in taking with you this new part of you that is the loss. So this part will drag you down. The fact that it does feel like a huge hole in your life. And if you let it, it will basically freeze you. Bring yourself back up to, go inward, tend your spirit inwardly, let your spirit carry you, and through that, just basically going through the process of, realizing what was you and how you can gently thank and bid goodbye to what has gone. That's going to help you rebuild who you are, and also bringing forward with you the things that you want to keep from what was lost, because you will be carrying that as well. So that's something you can honor as you move forward. You can honor as you rebuild who you are. So your next step is you will be reconnecting with source energy, your source energy. None of these came up right. There we are. You will be reconnecting with what your source energy is. We have Sovila, which is the sun. It has to do with source energy and also basically illuminating the darkness and basically moving forward. The ice being thawed, things moving again, and you'll be able to do that. What is going to help you with that is just embrace the challenge of it. It is going to feel impossible. It really is. We have Thurisaz reversed. We have Thurisaz is the rune of the challenge. Reversed, it has to do with what feels like an impossible challenge, but it's yours. As Caroline Casey says, it's your beautiful, dangerous assignment. So embrace this as your challenge, and as you start to move forward again into the light and into your source energy, like connecting with your source energy again, which is, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think I might have to put another line. But anyway, this is what's going to help you, is just basically embracing it as your challenge. What isn't going to help is people are going to be wanting to tell you, well-meaningly, but wrongly, what they think you should do. And it's going to really drag you down because they don't know what's going on inside you, and you know this, and you've just been through that. And so you just need to, thank them for their advice and can just continue to move forward with what you're doing, because if you follow what they're saying, then it's going to wreck everything. So just bring yourself back up to, what you're doing. You're letting your spirit carry you inwardly. You're rebuilding who you are, bringing forward what needs to be brought forward and letting go what needs to be let go, and just embracing this challenge as you move back into the light. And what this is going to lead you to your next step is Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm, and it has to do with chaos and the uncontrolled uncontrollables and natural forces. And it really is sort of like, it's going to feel crazy out there because you were used to doing things with this that you had lost, whatever it was, and it's going to feel like you're getting buffeted around a lot more. At the same time, you are finding your footing as the new you in the new to you world. So there's that going on. What is going to help you is your great inner strength. You have Uruz reversed. Uruz is the rune of the wild ox, and it has to do with strength and health. It's reversed, but it's on the upper line. So this has to do with your inner strength. This is what's going to help you. You've actually been building it all along, and you've always had it, but you're very aware of it. And the fact that you have this is what's helping you go out into this trackless new world that you have just re-entered after stepping out into the light. And that's what's going to help you the most. What isn't going to help is that you are still grieving. You are still mourning. You are going to be grieving and mourning for a while. It actually never, you will always have that. You will always have that sense. But it's still keen by the time you're doing this. So it's not that it's dragging you down, but it's sort of, you're not going to be able to move as swiftly as you perhaps would like to, but just remember your inner strength, your resilience, and all of what you've connected with already that is helping you forward, and just basically move into the storm. And what this is going to bring you to, the outcome is of this particular reading, is we have Yira. Yira is the rune of the harvest and also time. So it's basically time is really the only thing that helps. It doesn't heal it completely, but it allows you to continue to grow and move forward and have experiences that will build around the loss, so that even though it's like a tree, like in the picture, when you see a tree has gone through, when you see in the rings of a tree where a tree has gone through a really terrible time, and you'll see that in one of the rings, but it's continued to build around that. And that's basically how it is with loss and with grief. So it is time that is going to be the issue, and you are going to be getting new harvests in. You are going to be seeing the results of your labors, the fruits of your labors. At least after this step, you're going to be seeing that. So that would be your reading, card number 1, people. I wish you good luck with that and all the best, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 2, people. So we're going to turn the card and we're going to see what this is about, and then we're going to use the maple runes to get some clarity about it. Peace. Peace is your card. So right now, the message from your guides is it's a time to basically like sit in peace. Basically, take that time and basically spread out in it. It's like, when you would have like a whole bunch of work, and then you'd get that one day where you didn't have to worry about it and you just stretch. So just basically vibrate peace, absorb the peace, be in peace. It's your focus, but it's also your message. Just like be in that. So let's get some clarity from the maple runes. I'm going to throw down the entire reading first. We sort of set the stage with the first one, so I kind of know what number of runes are supposed to be going down in this particular reading. These readings seem to be asking for a particular... Oh, that's neat. That was the same spot for that rune last time. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. And finally, there we go. Wow, same also. That's neat. Okay. Not that that matters to you because you didn't look at that one. So your central issue is Ingvaz. Ingvaz is the rune of Ing, who's the fertility god, and that has to do, another name for Frey, and that has to do with active creation. So right now, you're in a place of peace, and you're sort of going to be building. I'm seeing this really on building on that, and the reason I'm saying that is what led up to this was you've just been through one heck of a storm. We have Hagalaz, which is the rune of the hailstorm. It has to do with chaos and the uncontrolled uncontrollables, natural forces, nature just everywhere around you. And right now you're in a place where, and maybe it was due to a lot of hard work on your part to set things up, to set up that shelter, but here you are in a state where you have created a space around you that is of peace, that is not of this crazy whipping around you storm. And so this is something that you made, and that you created this, and you are in a state of, okay, let's just breathe right now in the peace. And of course, what is helping you is we have Isa. Isa is the rune of ice, and stand still, and that's where you're at. Just basically be still in this moment of peace that you worked hard to get to. What's going to come through at that point is, I'm going to read this a couple ways. We have Vunyo reversed, which is the rune of joy. It's reversed, but it's on the upper line. So the two ways I'm going to read this is, through this stillness, you will be able to reconnect with your deep inner heart, but also you will be able to address what has been making you unhappy. So you'll be able to clearly look at this and examine it with the comfort of having constructed this space of peace. in which to do this. But first you have to be still. Just be still, because through stillness comes clarity, and you haven't been able to be still for a while because you've been buffeted around. So, good. What isn't going to help is you've been just basically fighting all this time leading up to this point, and you still want to keep pushing. Like, there's a part of your body that's been just doing this for so long that you just like don't want to. It's not that you don't want to stop, it's just that physically you feel like you get antsy if you're not pushing forward, driving forward, and just never stopping. And this is basically, we have Tivaz, which is Tyr's rune. Tyr's the warrior god, and we have Avaz, which is the horse, and that has to do with movement. Also spirit, but mostly I'm seeing this in conjunction with us as being like movement, driving forward, pushing, which is what you've been doing up until this point. And part of you is still in that mode. So right now it's like, no, I constructed this. I'm going to basically breathe. I'm going to be still, and I'm going to let clarity come through finally, because it can. Breathe. And what this is going to lead you to is you will be able to move out into the light once more. You will be able to connect with your source energy again. We have Sovila, which is the rune of the sun. This has to do with source energy, illumination of darkness. Things are going to be clearer when you move forward again, when you start moving again. What's going to help is we have Fehu. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. It has to do with, it's upright, so it's basically, it's a very practical sense of, you know your worth, you know what you have around you that is able to support you. And I do see support in there because we're going to come to a rune that has to do with support. So it's like you have what you need to move forward, so, and to absorb this, and this is almost like it's feeding itself. So we have Sovila, which is source energy, and we have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. So it's your sense of worth, and also you practically have what you need in order to move forward. Maybe you weren't even able to use it because you were getting buffeted around so much, but now you can move forward with that, and that's going to help you. So even if it is money, it is going to help you. It is going to help you in this case. Once you start moving forward, you'll have that cushion. But even so, it's just basically your worth, your sense of worth, that is going to help you. What isn't going to help is we have Ansu's reversed. Ansu's is the rune of communication and manifestation, reversed on the lower line. I guess, it would be a matter of maybe you're not trusting communications, maybe you're not trusting your inner communications, and that would actually scan with what the upper line is always the opposite of the lower line. So maybe you're not trusting yourself. Maybe you're still sort of doubting your inner voice when you do choose to step out, that maybe you feel like you're not ready. Maybe you finally relaxed from this and it's like, no, you know what, I'm not ready. You're still sort of hanging back a step behind where you actually are moving into. So just remember your worth. It's like, no, you know what, I got through this. I had my moment of clarity where I stood in peace and rested. Now I'm stepping back out into the sun. I'm starting to take in my source energy again. I have everything I need, and I can trust my inner self, my worth. I can trust this because I went deep to get it, and I can trust it. Here I am stepping out. So your next step is you are feeling very supported. It's not just you, it's upright. We have Algies, which is the rune of the elk, otherwise known as the moose. It has to do with protection and support. It's your next step after that. So you are moving out, you're very supported, you have some good connections. You are able to move out of your comfort zone, and the runes are saying that's a good thing to do. Let go of things that no longer serve you at that step. We have Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. Reversed, it does have to do with letting go of things that no longer serve you, but also stepping out of your comfort zone. Because you pushed, you got to this point where you'd created this space of peace where you're at now. Once you got some clarity from stillness from that, you were able to step back out into the sun, well aware of your own worth. You are feeling very supported on the next step of that, and part of that is what's going to help you with that is just being able to leave that comfort zone and let go of things that no longer serve you, because that's a big deal. What isn't going to help is we have Mana as reversed. So there is a mistrust of the other humans. Can't say I blame you. As you step out, you do have the ones that are around you who are supporting you, which is really, really good. But there's this worry that you're worried about this returning, basically. And I think this was probably caused by the other humans to begin with. So you're a bit shell-shocked, and that's what's going to drag you down in this stage, because you are letting yourself be supported. But at the same time, memories of this are still keen. But just basically, you have what you built when you were in this state of peace, and that carries forward with you. So just remember, you are supported, and also you're carrying this with you. This is also, Othala reversed also has to do with your inner sense of home. What you always carry with you, no matter what you're doing and where you are and what you have and what you don't. You always have that recourse to that inner sense of peace and that inner sense of home. So you can return to this whenever you want to, just inwardly. So that's also helping you. And what this is all going to lead you to is, I'm going to read this a couple of ways. We have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest, also time. So you're going to be having a harvest after this point. You're going to be seeing the fruits of your labors. You're going to be seeing the results of all the work that you did. At the same time, you're going to feel this, that it was actually a season that came to a close, a certain season in your life that has wrapped up, the time that has, it passed. The time of that crazy time was over, and you've passed through it. And this is basically, you're sort of closing the book on it. It's a completion. And finally, just remembering that nothing is constant, nothing is permanent, and that the bad times do pass. The bad times always pass. So that is your reading card number 2, people, your message from your guides. So there you go. So I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card number 3, people. So let's turn card number 3 and see what your message from your guides is. Pause. So give yourself a moment. Give yourself a moment to pause and appreciate and have gratitude and be grateful and, just basically stop putting things, stop yanging and start yinning. Oh, beautiful. Okay. And which you've already actually started to do, which is good. And maybe because you basically got forced to, which, is a thing. So I'm actually going to throw down the entire reading first. Just move that a little bit. Move the citrine a little bit. This looks a little bit crooked, but that's okay. We'll continue to build. Okay, card number 3, people. And another line. Cool. Last rune of the spread, the outcome. Where's our outcome? Is that it? Cool. Nice. Okay. So your message was pause. As I said, it's time to stop yanging and start yinning. It's like you have to inhale sometimes. So our central issue here is Tivaz. Tivaz is the rune of Tyr, the warrior god. But unlike what you would think with a warrior god, driving forward and push, 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 Tivaz very strongly has to do with tending duties and responsibilities. It's not reversed, so it's actually, even though you have the leading up, which is Isa, which is the standstill rune, it's Tivaz's rune is not, Tyr's rune is not reversed here. So it's actually, you are tending your duties and responsibilities actively by stepping into a yin zone, which is really kind of a neat read. But it's like a choice. You are choosing to tend your duties and responsibilities by stopping what you're doing, basically laying the violin aside and just appreciating the flower. So what is going to help you here? This is really interesting because this is saying stop yanging and start yinning, but the instructions are very straightforward, like direct, do these things. So it's like yangly yin. But anyway, you're stopping to tend your duties and responsibilities. You're just taking a pause to appreciate things. And I'm sort of seeing this as this is communication and manifestation. We have Ansus, which is the rune of communication and manifestation. Maybe you need to stop and appreciate. It's almost like with the violin, this monster was, this cute monster, this lovely monster, was expressing, but it was like for their own, to be appreciated, and now this monster is appreciating the flower. So it's like part of your duties and responsibilities are appreciating others, and basically maybe you were just basically expressing, not to avoid it, but because you were afraid to say what you wanted to say. So now it's the time, and maybe that's why the violin is there. Now is the time to say how much you appreciate people, with all your heart. We have Lagus, which is the rune of emotion, intuition, and heart. It's water, so it's all the watery stuff. It's the lake, which comes through when you communicate. And again, maybe that's why the violin is there, and you're actually, but you were sort of indirect before. You were just sort of expressing it indirectly in an abstract way, and now you are directly appreciating the thing you love. You're taking a pause from push to, look, I'm going to be direct here. I love you with all my heart, or just basically expressing from your heart your appreciation, your gratitude. What isn't going to help is, okay, so we have Algi's reversed. Algi's is the rune of protection and support. It is reversed and it's on the lower line. So it's sort of, you're worried this won't be reciprocated. Maybe you're worried that this hasn't been reciprocated in the past. Maybe you're worried that it won't have been worth it. So Algi's reversed in the lower line. You're worried about that you won't have the support that you would like, and also maybe that you wasted too much time, maybe that you don't have much time left. We have Yira, that's the rune of the harvest, but also time. And also, is it worth it? Is this going to be worth it? Yes, absolutely. So take the pause, tend what your responsibility is, express appreciation, gratitude from your heart, basically, or whatever it is in your heart, let that be expressed. Your next step is, I'm going to read this a couple ways, because I think for different of you, it's going to have a different next step based on that. So, one, we have Vunyo reversed. Vunyo is the rune of joy. It is reversed and it's on the path line. So one way I'm going to read this is you're going to be very much in connection with your deep inner heart. You're going to be looking deeply within. But also your next step, you might not be as happy as you would like. Maybe you are still feeling sad, even though you've done this. What is going to help is, what can you control, basically? There are things that are out of your control. I don't see Hagalas here, but there are things that are out of your control. So what you can, basically control what you can. We have Ingvaz, which is the rune of Ing. It's another name for Frey. He's the fertility god, and it's basically saying, you can. It's active creation, basically. So you can create around you the things that are going to help draw out this deep inner joy, this deep inner joy that you are starting to develop, which maybe was missing when you were only just expressing and not appreciating, or if this is unhappiness, how can I make myself happy? What steps can I take right now to change things and to shape things so that my happiness will be fed and nourished and come out from deep within, so that it's sort of filling my life more, sort of illuminating some of these shadows. What isn't going to help is we have Manas again, and Manas is a frequent villain in these readings. Manas is the rune of humanity and your part in it. And when it lands in the lower line of what isn't helping you, you're worried about what other people are going to think. You're worried about what other people are going to say. And maybe you are getting bombarded by the din of humanity saying to you, you ought to do this, you ought to do that, you should do this, you should do that, all the shoulds. That's not going to help you. You know what you need. So you have, whether you are feeling unhappy or whether you are whether you are very aware of the joy that is building deep within, that is sort of budding because of this move to pause, you're going to want to draw that out. And the way you're going to draw your inner joy forward is by looking around you and saying, what do I have control over, and what can I change around me in my life that's going to be making a better situation for that joy to inhabit. What your next step is, we have Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. Reversed, it means a couple things. It means stepping out of your comfort zone, which is, we get into a rut, and even if you're not happy, it becomes a rut and it becomes comfortable. But you're building where your joy needs to come from. And the pause also is about discovering joy, as well. Here he is discovering, or she is discovering, this beautiful flower. So you want to basically change what your path was, because now you're focused on this joy. So you're you're stepping out of a certain comfort zone. You are also letting go of things that no longer serve you. Any of these things, when you were building what's around you to help you feel better, there may have been things that you ran across that you don't need anymore and that were actually dragging you down. It's time during this step to let go of that. And what is going to help you is, we have Pertho reversed. Pertho is the rune of the lot box. It has to do with fate and luck and surprises, but surprises that were already there. Reversed, and on the upper line, it has to do with learning something about yourself, something that you didn't know about yourself but was always a part of you. And that's what's going to help you, because you've learned this after all this work you've done. You know things about yourself that you didn't before, and that's going to help you let go of the things that don't belong with you anymore. What isn't going to help is it's new ground. You haven't moved forward without these things before. It's going to help you, but you're going to be like, I feel itchy that I want to have those things even though they were hurting me. If that starts to happen, just bring yourself back up to what, I know who I am, and knowing who I am now, I can't go back to what I was before. I can't go back to my habits before. And the outcome for this read, as this message, is you will, at that point, be having a new beginning. We have Berkana, which is the rune of the birch tree. It also has to do with beginnings and birth. So new beginnings, it's upright. So it's just basically, you're going to have a new beginning at this point in the world. So that is your message. I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.